All right, so let's get into the quarterbacks. There are 8 quarterbacks in the Senior Bowl. North squad, you got Drew Lock, Trace McSorley, Ryan Finley, Danny Jones. South squad, you got Greer, Stidham, Tyree Jackson from Buffalo, and Gardner Minshew from Washington State. First of all, let's talk about the practices. How have these quarterbacks been looking specifically, since I'm tight with McSorley family, how has Trace been looking in practice?
Yeah, I actually spent some time with Trace the other day. Good dude. Was happy to talk to him. I haven't, if I'm being honest, haven't seen as much practice as I would have liked because the first day we had Bruce, and then yesterday we didn't get to see practice at all because it was indoors because of the rain. So I'll have a much better sense today. I'm going to spend a lot of time, basically all of my time today that I'm at practice will be spent with eyes on quarterbacks. So we've had a little bit of interaction with them. Tyree Jackson from Buffalo, like he was impressive just because he's so freaking big.
He's a big dude, yeah.
He's like 6'7" and change. It's like he's big to the point that the other quarterbacks who are regular NFL-sized quarterbacks look small.
Right.
Next to him.
Right.
It is wild.
I mean, who's comparable to him in the league? I guess Cam Newton.
Brock Osweiler?
No, Cam's a different body type. Cam's thicker and not quite as tall. Like Paxton Lynch was 6'7". There's 6'7" dudes quarterback don't come along very often. I don't know that there is a really good one. You know, maybe like in terms of body type, the tall, lanky, like Brady, but stretched to 6'7". Because like Brady's not super thick, but he's tall.
Right.
Same kind of thing. Like he's thick enough, but he's not built like the Fox NFL robot like Cam is. So Tyree Jackson was in terms of like visual certainly popped out, and the ball does come out of his hand pretty good. A lot of the other guys are more of that tall, lanky, like need to put on a few pounds in the NFL kind of build. Drew Lock, for instance, that kind of thing where, talked to him yesterday. He's solid, like what I probably measured in around 6'3". So like, okay, you've got the size, but no one has really stood out from a performance standpoint like Baker did last year, or even like Josh Allen did last year, where, with Allen, the ball was flying out of his hands. He's throwing these deep balls. The out routes just had so much crisp. And when it looked right, he looked like the best quarterback you've ever seen, and then the next 3 throws would be 7 yards out of bounds. So I know that based off the practice report that we got, Greer looked good yesterday in their practice. He hit on a couple of deep balls, so he's played pretty well. But unfortunately, just because of the weather, we haven't really had a chance to see as much of the prospects this year as we would like to with our own eyes. But we do, get those practice reports, and we do still have the chance to interact with some of these guys.
Like I said, eight quarterbacks. Is it pretty standard for all 8 to get a quarter? 4 on each squad? Are they all going to get a quarter, or is that going to vary?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much how it works. I would imagine, obviously it's up to John Gruden and Kyle Shanahan who are down here coaching. But I would imagine if, someone's drive goes into the next quarter, then you get to finish the drive. But other than that, I would assume that that it's going to be quarter for everybody.
Craig, you touched on the media scrum with team president Bruce Allen a couple days ago. Was it about what you expected? And it was the first time he had done something like that, and I believe 588 days. Maybe he shouldn't wait 588 days between pressers and people wouldn't make such a huge deal out of it. Maybe he should talk to the media with a little more regularity, even though I know he detests that. He hates it.
No, and he said he will. I pointedly asked him that as we were walking down the ramp after the media session. I said, hey, you're the guy in charge. Can we expect to hear from you more often? Is this a sign of things to come? And he goes, yes, I'll speak at the Combine. So apparently we're going to hear from Bruce again in about 28 days or whatever it is till we're in Indy. So, and then in terms of what I made of it, I actually thought that it went better for him than I was expecting. And that just comes from so much buildup of being told, no, you can't talk to Bruce forever. I thought his demeanor was going to be very off-putting and standoffish, and instead he was politician Bruce, and it was he was engaging. He, to a point, he answered questions in the way that Bruce was going to answer the questions. I'm not saying that the answers were satisfactory or that they were in depth or detailed or at all what we or fans wanted, but it wasn't like he just shut stuff down or was arrogant in his demeanor. You go back and look at some of the quotes afterwards once you're not in the moment, and you're like, oh man, that was not a really great answer on that. on a couple of these questions, but ultimately, sometimes it's because there isn't a good answer in the way they've done things, and other times it's just that Bruce's best skill, and I don't even mean this as a dig necessarily. His best skill is that he's a very good politician. He understands how to speak without saying a whole lot. He understands the audience that he needs to in the given moment, with often just Daniel Snyder, and that is why he has been able to stay employed for so long. And in a way, he's playing to his base, if you want to use the politician term, where, hey, why are you still the right person? Because I still have the same passion for this franchise. Well, the people that believe in Bruce, which are obviously not large in numbers, not the majority, are going to be fine with that answer. Oh, man, he cares so much. He just wants to win. He'll figure it out. Well, everyone else is just going to be mad anyway. There was no satisfactory answer to that question, so you just do the best you can and move on. So, I actually didn't think it was like I was on some level expecting a disaster, and it certainly I don't think was a disaster, even if it was not satisfactory, and a lot of fans are very upset with some of the answers.